For a lot of people, Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival is probably one of the most disappointing games on the Wii U. At its core, it's an overly simple board game that relies heavily on amiibo figures and cards for unlocks, which, keep in mind, cost real-world money. Unlike some of my other videos about games that became public punching bags, I'm not here to argue against its reputation. In my eyes, its reception is pretty well deserved. However, I have played 30 hours of Amiibo Festival, and I had a pretty good time with it. How? Probably not entirely in the way Nintendo intended. As a party game, you may think the more the merrier, maybe bring over some like-minded Animal Crossing friends. Don't do that. Get your friends out of here. They are going to make this worse for you. The only things you need is a Wii U and these figures. I'd recommend at least 3 of them. Figures, not Wii U's. So what are we doing here? Basically, you're going to play at least 3 characters at once. A feat that's not too hard given the game is controlled entirely via the gamepad, so you don't have to awkwardly use multiple controllers.
Why don't I have any friends?
Simply tap the appropriate amiibo and the dice rolls. You'll want all these characters working together to achieve ultimate happiness. If you don't know what Amiibo Festival is about, basically, you're trying to get happiness points. This can come from a lot of small tasks like landing on certain spaces, doing a full lap around the board, or some season-specific mini-games. But this is how chumps become happy. As any Animal Crossing fan knows, the real reward rests with playing the market, buying turnips. These veggies will get you mad happiness points because they get you lots of money, aka bells in the series universe. Like every other Animal Crossing, they're for sale every endgame Sunday. The stock market will fluctuate, with you choosing when is most appropriate to sell. The difference here is that each space has its own turn of value, and there are cards that can influence the values of those spaces. In a normal game of Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, each player would simply try to benefit themselves. In this setup, you have multiple characters with cards who are basically all in this together, meaning you can play the market for everyone, using their combined resources to create the best windows of opportunities for all of them to sell, resulting in significantly more bells flooding in than your standard game. It's fun seeing just how far you can push this number. The turnips are volatile, so there's a chance that you'll bet big and lose it all, which adds a nice bit of tension, though you're somewhat protected by spreading out your resources across multiple characters. At the end of each game, all of your currency turns into happiness points. When it's only you playing, obviously the happiness ranking at the end doesn't really matter. Instead, it's more about filling up the happiness meter on each amiibo to unlock new costumes, or fun new buildings in the environment to switch up the game board, something that's important since otherwise the map layout never changes. Is this some crazy complicated metagame? Absolutely not. It basically comes down to positioning your characters and using the right card, though when you have that big payout, it's pretty satisfying. Now, to some extent, that is already a part of the appeal of the main game itself when you play with others. However, in my eyes, there's simply not enough depth in the moment-to-moment action or your resource pool when controlling one character. Also, there's something to be said about keeping your hands and mind busy. When you're playing 3 characters yourself, you won't go significant chunks of time without interacting with the game. It's the perfect amount of mental processing to keep you busy while you watch something, talk in a group chat, or whatever. I'm not saying Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival is a good game, or that you will have fun, but if you have a copy already or find it really cheap, and you have some Animal Crossing amiibos around, I think it's well worth giving it a shot. There's something here, you just have to play a little outside of the box Nintendo sets up for you. If you're interested in more offbeat Animal Crossing content, check out Jextalgia's video on the Japanese-only games in the series. He does a ton of good Nintendo stuff in general, so be sure to look at his channel. If you want more from me, I'd recommend looking at my old video of why I like the troubled Wii U version of Rodea the Sky Soldier. If you like this video and you're feeling generous, please share it with somebody you think would be interested.